guys, Yuka here with the next part of Seduce Me for Erik's route. Let's get to it. I'm probably gonna not cut this. I'm probably gonna go on until I finish this route, if I can, hopefully. If not, it'll probably in like the half-hour mark. Let's see how far we get in that time. I found myself sitting on a stone floor in the middle of what looked like a fantasy throne room, and we meet the dad and his servant.
A prodigy?
Know about Diana's...
Yes, my lord. This succubus is a master of her skills in magic and mind manipulation. She is said to sway armies with a snap of her fingers, despite being as young as she is.
I have a...
Yes, my...
How old is this daughter?
As old as your 5th, sire.
Same age as Damien?
Do you believe this proposal is worth it?
How can you read? I have to, Zakaru! Get off! There's only one thing you need to know about strategy. Kill them all! Take no prisoners!
You sound just like father!
Do you think we should? I really want to.
Oh, Damien. Going to the real world. Diana's the girl you arranged to marry?
Not anymore. Once we left, the arrangement was broken. With no sons to marry off, her dad couldn't go through with the marriage deal.
If Diana is here for us, that means she's trying to save her kingdom from being attacked.
That's not true. She wants to rule our kingdom. Having one of us will give her the right to our kingdom as much as we'd have right over hers.
So she's a gold digger!
Well, with a kingdom like ours, what succubus wouldn't want to marry us for it?
It all made sense. She wanted them to finally take over an opposing kingdom. She knew that, despite her power, she wouldn't be able to fight versus their father, so she had to find another way in. That manipulative... Before I could continue, I got dizzy, and then I passed out.
I took too... Rest now. There's no need to do anything.
I rubbed my eyes and sat up, letting a soft groan escape my lips. In response, something beside me, my bed shifted, causing me to look over. I didn't know what I was expecting. Beside me, sitting in the chair beside the bed, beside, was Erik, rousing himself to see me awake. I smiled at him, seeing his slightly ruffled hair and tired eyes.
You're awake, princess. That's a relief. How do you feel?
Erik nodded before he gently reached over and placed his hand over mine, running his thumb over my knuckles and examining my face with a soothing sadness.
I must apologize, princess. To see you be hunted by both demons and devils, I feel entirely responsible.
Erik, it's not your fault. Yes, it is.
No, forgive me, but I can't stand the thought of them hurting you. If we had never come, you'd never be in danger.
I quickly reached over and put my fingers on his lips, stopping him from going any further. I didn't want to hear anymore. Erik, it's okay. I wanted to help you out. I offered to let you all stay. Nothing is your fault. I gently moved my hand and cupped Erik's cheek, staring at him with concern. I didn't want him to hold guilt in his mind about this whole ordeal. Diana was desperate, and she'd hunt anyone for them. It wasn't his fault she was desperate enough to hunt them down. However, I was curious. So Erik, you're a noble? Erik chuckled before he stared at the hand he was caressing with a soft smile.
Yes, I'm a noble. My brothers and I are nobles. Well, I guess I should say were now, shouldn't I?
Back. Were?
James was the demon prince when we lived in the Abyssal Plains. The others and I were simply nobles living in the castle, simply because of our bloodline. Should James fail or die, we were the replacements. Well, we didn't want to live like that, as simply replacements over our brother. So we all wanted to leave and be an actual family.
What was it like while you were there?
Well, to put it simply, it was boring. James was constantly being trained while the rest of us had to constantly entertain ourselves without disturbing him. I, however, was also being trained under the guidance of my mother.
Your mother? Ooh.
Yes, she was a lovely woman. I never knew what she looked like.
That made no sense. How could he not know what his own mother looked like? Erik, as if he read his mind, smiled and chuckled at the confusion on my face. They're orbs of love, light, and soul, and spirit. It's pretty sad, but was it before or after birth?
Our father had multiple wives. James, myself, Sam, and Matthew came from these very women. But tensions grew high when Damien was born outside our father's marriages.
And if the demon world time does not align with the human world, how many years, quote unquote, are they apart?
In order to quell the tension, our father had a powerful demon mage turn our mothers into simple, floating spirits. They lived, but they could not have physical form.
That's horrible.
It is, but which is better? A house where the sons of the Demon Lord could have their birth mothers, or watching these very women claw at each other's throats out of jealousy, leaving the sons with no true parental guidance? Our father didn't have time for anyone but James, so the rest of us needed someone to make sure we didn't grow up to be incompetent.
Erik had a point. It was horrid, but it was a logical point. I bit my lip and nodded in understanding. Erik gently brought my hand to kiss my knuckles.
Would you like to see what I mean instead?
I stared, trying to understand what he meant. However, as the memory of when he showed me the demon palace replayed in my mind, I nodded and let my curiosity guide me. Erik smiled before simply holding out the hand onto me and letting a small breath brush against his palm. Instantly, the flower Erik had given to me appeared in his hand, making him smirk and making me blush.
You kept it. Good.
Erik wrapped his fingers gingerly around the stem, giving it the power it had been given before and casting an aura-like mirror before me. Oh, it lasted about a week then. That's pretty good. I peered in to see the castle's main hall once again. The memory of being in that hall, albeit by magic, sent a small shiver down my spine. I watched, however, as a very familiar demon walked arm in arm with a woman with cat ears and a tail down the walkway.
Tiffy, my sweet kitten, you truly astound me. Whatever shall I do with you?
Wow, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to see. You going around flirting with all the girls. Taking them their sexual energy. I know, I'm very inexperienced and you got the loads of experience.
Stop it, you're making me blush.
But what if I want to make you blush? You're so much cuter when you blush, kitten.
Stop.
I felt my eye twitch in irritation. Why was Erik showing me this? Was he wanting to spite me? I don't want to see him flirt with demon girls. I already had some trouble with him flirting with me.
You sly incubus, you. I'll get in trouble for sure if I'm caught with you.
Then shouldn't we make the risk worthwhile?
Erik held the cat girl close to his body, looking about ready to kiss her. The girl, however, mewed and pulled away, giggling in almost cute embarrassment.
Such a bad incubus. So bad. I should go.
Ah, very well, you minx. Until we meet again.
The cat girl giggled before rushing out of the main hall, but not before Erik lowered his hand underneath her tail as she turned and let it slide across his fingers as she ran off, making the cat girl jump in surprise. The girl playfully glared at Erik, who only pouted innocent lips in return before she exited. However, as the girl left the room, Erik's face went from flirtatious to almost Damien cold. Erik let out a sigh, gently rubbing his hands to get rid of the fur that had caught on them, and rolled his shoulders.
Well, Mother, was that enough to please you?
Ew. Does she get enjoyment from watching him? That's sick. Or I'm sick. I'm probably sick. I stared, shocked at the personality change. What the heck happened to Erik? He was flirty, charming, and almost disgustingly complimentary. But the Erik I was seeing now at the mirror wasn't him at all. A small red orb surrounded with a veil of purple mist entered the space, making my mind go blank. It approached Erik, glowing as it spoke.
Very well done, dear. Much better than I expected of you.
Thank you. You taught me well.
That I did. You must never forget, however, to always listen to your women. Serving them is your #1 priority. Should they be uncomfortable, you must step back and be as submissive as possible.
Yes, Mother.
Good. Now, continue to woo that cat girl. Once she gives you her energy, then you can toss her back out. You don't need any pets hanging around when you find another girl.
Wow.
As you wish, Mother.
I stared in utter shock. The orb vanished, but Erik remained in the hall, letting out a sigh. He had a look of displeasure on his face. He looked tired as well, but something seemed off. He looked like he had a lot on his mind, but his closed mouth wouldn't let him speak of them. He was submissive to his guidance. I turned away from the mirror to look at Erik beside me, who had a look of both sadness and guilt. It was like a puppy admitting to chewing my favorite shoe or a child stealing a cookie from a cookie jar. Erik stopped the magic, willing the mirror out of existence and letting it fade away in the air before he looked at me.
She taught me well. At least what she could teach me anyway. That visage became habit, and now it's a natural persona to me. She taught me to always serve and make the women I met happy. She always said that was the true incubus way.
The true incubus way?
It makes sense, no? If I can please and serve any women I meet, then I can surely convince them to fully give their energy to me.
Ooh, that's awful. I began to see the mask Erik was wearing. He wasn't putting on airs because he was overly complimentary. He was complimentary in order to gain trust and respect. That is smart.
It is. However, I know what you're thinking, Princess. I don't blame you for thinking what you are thinking of right now.
You don't know what I'm thinking. That you're using me to just get my energy too. And what am I thinking of right now?
Who am I exactly? If I am truly not as flirtatious as I act, then what do I act like, and will you be the next victim? I can assure you, Princess, that I am no danger to you.
How can I be so sure?
Because, Princess, I don't deserve your trust or energy.
I stared, my mind going blank. What did he mean? Erik lifted my hand again and gently caressed it, staring down at
You've done so much for me and my brothers, sheltering us, letting us continue to live here. It may not seem like much, but to a family of brothers without anywhere to go, it means everything. I can't soil your gifts to us by taking anything from you. You've become so important and precious to us, to me. To take anything from you like that would be beyond unforgivable.
I watched, speechless and silent, as Erik lifted my hand higher and simply laid his lips gently. I could feel his brown and felt his shame burning itself into my skin. It was a pitiful sight and almost made my eyes water.
I could never do that to you.
Erik lowered my hand and lowered his head, ashamed. I couldn't help but feel my heart squeeze within my chest at the sight. He didn't want to hurt me. He truly cared. Erik let out a small sigh before looking to me, his face now clear of the flirtatious mask he wore for so long. He had a genuine and caring, loving smile bared for me. This was the man inside of the incubus who cared for me and wanted to be revealed.
Now, Princess, you must get some more rest. You aren't fully recovered, and dinner is a good scent to wake up to.
Erik smiled and gently pressed me back down into the bed. I couldn't let him leave without doing something. I quickly pulled Erik down to me, lifted my head and gently kissed him softly, laying a hand on his cheek and kept his face close. Erik stared in deep surprise before hesitantly kissing me back, pressing my cheek and slightly melting at the touch of my lips. A soft sigh escaped his lips before he slowly pulled away with a smile. He gently licked his lips, making me go red at the face with a simple gesture. He let out a satisfied hum before nuzzling my forehead.
Sleep.
And with that, he stood up and left the room, leaving me to rest as per his request. I smiled to myself before relaxing into the mattress. You again. I suddenly tensed up. I felt majorly uneasy. Something wasn't right. I felt it in my core. She must be here. The thought of her in the house infuriated me beyond belief. I had to make sure she was not here. I rolled out of bed and quickly left my room, wandering the halls and listening closely. She was a demon, but I was listening very intently. Therefore, there was no way that she would be able to sneak up on me. I know you're here. Where are you? I couldn't help myself from growling. It wasn't a matter of fear. She had taken away that boy, and that she'd take away the boys anymore. Her very existence had lit a fire of rage within my gut, which only grew as each day went by. This feud was getting on my nerves, and I knew it would not end well for one of us. I wasn't going to lose to that demon Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't going to lose to that demon bitch.
Diana.
Whoa.
What a pleasant surprise.
My heart stopped. Diana was with Erik. My mind flew into a slow motion, playing fake images of Diana trying to seduce Erik in my head to further fan the angry flame inside me. What was even worse was the fact that Erik could play into Diana's flirtatious game. I instinctively followed Erik's voice and blushed wildly. I was approaching the bathroom. The door was open, just a crack wide enough to peek in without being noticed. Oh, a nice bathroom. I peeked inside to see Erik by the bathtub with Diana sitting on the sink looking to him.
Such a gentleman. You know how to treat a woman.
That I do. However, I'm afraid that my manners will not replace my sickening hatred towards you.
Look at the acid in his voice and learn to leave and us in peace. Thank you very much.
I'm hurt, wounded truly. Is this how you really address a woman?
A woman you may be, but you are an enemy as well.
Pity. And here I thought I was going to offer you the chance to become something better than just a simple incubus.
Oh, no, you don't. What was Diana going on about? More than an incubus. She was insane.
I highly doubt you have anything more than what I can have here in the human world.
How about becoming the next demon lord?
I froze. What did she mean? Becoming the next demon lord? The boys weren't in the demon world anymore. They had no claim to the throne anymore.
Becoming the next demon lord? You're overstepping yourself, don't you think? How can you know about who the throne goes to?
Well, currently, I'm the contracted bride to the heir to the throne. Since the throne is open, it's available to any son of the demon lord's line.
Is that so?
It is. You'll gain the throne, the land, and a bride to continue your lineage with.
I'm constantly being interrupted. It's just how it is nowadays when there's no sense of privacy. But whatever. You cut off that lineage with doesn't that sound like perfect life for an incubus like you? Who said? I could feel myself gripping my fist tightly in anger. How dare this girl try to convince Erik to return to the demon world? He ran away from it. He didn't have to go back. He shouldn't go back. Isn't that being a little selfish? My mind began to wander, imagining him saying yes. He would leave and the brothers would follow to bring him back. They'd be trapped, they would be trapped because Diana would make sure that they would never leave. Erik would be the new lord with Diana as his queen and I'd lose him.
Sorry, but that actually doesn't sound appeasing at all.
What?
I felt surprise run down my body again. Did I hear Erik correctly? He denied her?
You dare deny?
Do not try to raise a tone to me. I am not as submissive as my training defines.
I could see the ethereal tendrils slowly form around Erik, taunting and threatening to strike at Diana.
You do not scare me. I can bring you to your knees and make you beg to return with me.
Such a cute bluff. You don't have enough power to do that, do you? Or else you would have already done it.
Ooh, bird. Erik smirked before making the tendrils fade away. Diana gripped the sink beneath her as Erik turned faces the shower and remained nonchalant.
Besides, even if you did enthrall me, you wouldn't fully own me. I belong to her.
The human girl? You must be joking. A human like her can't possibly provide you what you need. She's a human. You're a demon.
I felt the urge to storm in and shut her mouth. It would give away my position, but I was growing extremely tired of Diana. Barge in and set her straight. I decided to be assertive and quickly stepped into the room, opening the door to the bathroom wide open. Diana and Erik looked at me in surprise as glared daggers at Diana. Get out.
Well, well, little human. You're awfully nosy in business that doesn't concern you.
It does concern me.
Does it? I don't think a human would understand the importance of this affair.
You're asking him to leave to be someone he... You're asking him to leave to be someone he doesn't want to be. That's not going to happen.
Oh? And what makes you so sure about that?
I love him. Diana stared in shock at my exclamation. Was it not what she expected? I didn't care what she expected. I wasn't going to lose a man I had grown to love.
You love him?
Yes, I love him. Diana's lips twitched, the edge curling into an amused smirk as she stared at me.
So what? A human's love isn't enough to understand the situation. A demon can never reciprocate human feeling.
To both of our surprise, however, Erik stepped forward and put an arm around me, pulling me close to his body.
I love her.
I saw the confidence Diana had shattered in her eyes as she stared at Erik at his words. I could see the struggle in her face to try and find some weakness in Erik. In me. Anything.
A demon love a human? Impossible.
Impossible? How utterly dim to think that. We are the masters of emotion. We aren't barred away from feeling love. In fact, we can experience it 10 times more powerfully than humans.
Whoa. I wonder who this... Sorry.
I love her with every single part of my being. However, I don't expect someone like you to understand love.
Diana took a step back, physically feeling the sting of Erik's words in her chest. She had lost. I could see it in her eyes. Well, Diana's eyes grew dull as she glared at me and Erik. It seemed almost uncharacteristic of her, yet it was something I wasn't surprised to see coming from her face.
Very well. Fine. Valet.
And with that, Diana faded into the ground into a purple pentagram, crossing her arms and almost looking upset. And then we never heard from her again. The end. Erik and I were left alone, left with the silence of the room. I finally let out an air of unconsciously holding in my chest, relaxing from the ordeal. Erik stepped to me and held me gently, surprising me.
Are you okay, princess?
Yep. I nodded in response, unable to speak so immediately after being surprised. Erik let out a sigh, relaxing in the embrace. I gently placed my hands around him, returning the embrace slightly. I could hear Erik's heartbeat. He held me close in his arms, and I felt safe beyond words.
My sweet princess, how you've captured my heart.
I looked up at Erik, wondering what he meant by what he said. Erik smiled down at me, moving a strand of my hair from my face to look down at me.
I'm selfish, ignorant, and undeserving of everything you have done and given to me. The way you accept me and see through my mask astounds me beyond words. And now, you've captured my heart and claimed it as yours to probably the greatest adversary in the abyssal plains.
Yep.
You've made a demon fall in love with you. I've fallen in love with you and want to give you everything you deserve.
I stared, wide-eyed, blushing like a maniac. Was this real? No way. This couldn't be real. Was Erik confessing to me? Confessing his love for me? Erik gazed gently, smiled, and caressed my cheek. The warmth of his hand invited me to nuzzle into it, and I closed my eyes. This wasn't a dream. My heart was pounding so hard, and I was sure Erik could hear it. Erik gently leaned in, closing his eyes. He stopped, however, remaining just a mere torturous inch away from my lips. He wanted me to show my feelings for him. He had left himself open for me to kiss him or leave him empty. The power I had was unbelievable. I loved him, and I wanted him to give him exactly what he wanted. I gently leaned in, letting my lips finally touch his gingerly. Erik let out a small, almost pleasure purr against my lips before wrapping both of his arms around my waist, pulling me close to him. I moved my arms up and around his neck, feeling the kiss between us deep into a heated height. My chest was pounding, making me feel and see fireworks in my mind. Erik was everything I desired. He was the man I wanted, demon or not. It was all so new, supernatural, to fall in love with someone so quickly. Maybe it was a sense of magic I was thrown into. Maybe it was Cupid playing with my heart. Either way, I couldn't find myself melting at the thought of him being with me. How dramatic. I found myself combing my fingers through Erik's hair, making the man holding me softly tremble at my touch. He gently nibbled at my lower lip, asking me to deepen the kiss between us even further. I easily teased him before finally opening my mouth slightly for him. His tongue gently danced with mine as one of his hands slid up to my back and cradled my head. He gently leaned my body back, making me cling to him. Sorry, I was sneezed. And the heat of our kiss rose higher and higher. Gently, though, Erik slowed the kiss down and pulled away, staring down at me. His eyes burned for me, wanting me to melt and buckle in his arms. I could feel myself melt already. Erik opened his mouth to speak, but a very small blush ran across his cheeks. He was reduced to shy silence. I stared as he tried to find the words to say in my eyes. I knew exactly what he wanted. He didn't need energy, though, right? Are you...
No, I just...
I stared wide-eyed, feeling a blush on my cheeks grow. He didn't say anything more, but I knew what words would have followed if he continued. He wanted me. I was stunned. Was I that appealing to him? Was his passion really that deep for me? Erik gently nuzzled my forehead, losing the blush and finally being able to speak, a small chuckle escaping his lips.
If you don't want to, we don't have to. I do have to shower after all, and you need your rest.
I could feel my mind go numb and purr at the idea. A moment with an incubus, he was a demon of sex, in the purest form of lust and desire. My world would rock, and I would enjoy every second of it. At the same time, I was indeed inexperienced. Diana wasn't wrong when she claimed me to be innocent. Did I want to give that innocence to him, especially this early? No. I found myself forgetting the words yes and no. What could I say to him? I knew that I wanted, but how to say it without breaking the moment? Hold me. I wasn't ready, but I still wanted to give him the love he wanted. Holding him was close. Close was all I needed, all I wanted. Part of me grew fearful of what Erik would think. Would he hate me? Would he regret giving me his love? So many stories ended when sex wasn't given, and I didn't want this story to end. Erik, however, smiled and caressed my cheek happily in response, nodding in understanding. I could tell that he was okay with my decision, which made my heart flutter in joy. Erik gently leaned in and kissed my lips once again, wanting both of us to cool down from our passionate high. I kissed back sweetly, feeling the heat in my chest die out peacefully. Erik pulled away slowly, looking into my eyes to reveal a deep love that haunted his purple irises.
Come, I'll carry you back to bed.
Back to the princess bridal, hold. Princess hold. Whatever you call it. Erik then wrapped an arm around my shoulders and lowered his other arm underneath my knees. I easily held onto him as he lifted me like a blushing bride and carried me to the room towards my room. Carried me out of the room towards my room. Erik was kind enough to know my limits, and I trusted him to respect my choice. He wouldn't enthrall me to go against my wishes, nor would he force himself on me. He was perfect. Erik gently lowered me on my bed before petting my head with a loving smile. I was beaming in happiness. I didn't want it to end. As Erik turned to leave, I quickly grabbed his arm. Wait. Erik froze and looked back at me, awaiting my next command. He was going to obey no matter what I said, but he was anticipating what I was going to ask. I could see it in his eyes. However, I just wanted him to be with me a little longer. I didn't want to rest alone. Hold me. I repeated my words, holding another meaning to those 2 words. Was he okay with what I wanted? It was so close to what he had asked for, but it wasn't going beyond what I desired. Erik took in my words and smiled, nodding before turning back to me and sliding into bed with me. I was surprised, but I happily melted into Erik's arms as he wrapped himself around my body. Though he claimed to need a shower, he smelled as fresh as roses. I rested my head against Erik's chest, enjoying the warmth it provided as I closed my eyes. He truly loved me as I loved him. My rest with him was as peaceful as it could be, the best sleep I had in days. When I opened my eyes, I felt Erik still holding me, but he had fallen asleep. His sleeping face made me giggle softly, but the reality of the situation made my heart flutter. I couldn't believe it. I was laying next to the man I had grown to love with all my heart. His warm embrace made me feel safe, and as our heated dance replayed in my head, I couldn't help but smile and snuggle into his chest further. Unconsciously, he held me tighter to his body, giving me more of his warmth. I didn't want to move, but then my core suddenly tightened and made me sit up without waking the man next to me. I felt my legs move and bring me to my balcony window, where I opened the glass and stepped out onto the patio. I stared wide at Diana, who sat cross-legged on the railing of my balcony, with her growing red eyes stared upon me. I opened my mouth to object, but Diana stopped me.
Before you get all huffy, I didn't come here to take your precious man away. I will admit, though, I'm shocked that you didn't give your innocence to him. We demons are the best lovers, you know.
Third time now? I glared. What do you want, Diana?
Well, I just wanted to see how you truly feel. You know, without him around to influence you.
What are you talking about?
I'm giving you an opportunity to come clean about these feelings of yours, and to give you your salvation.
What was Diana up to? This was beyond crazy. Nothing she had done made any sense. Why was I still alive at this rate? What's keeping you from just killing me and taking them?
You are not worth my time.
Not worth your time? What, are you afraid something might happen? All at once, I felt my body being lifted into the air and moved over the railings, leaving me with nothing but the ground below to threaten me with a collision death.
Oh, trust me, dear. I'm not afraid to kill you. I can drop you right now and leave your body to rot until the morning, when the boys would find you.
I wanted to speak, but the thought of her letting go and letting me fall to my death scared my voice into silence. Diana then chuckled and wheeled my body back to the balcony, setting me down gently.
Alas, if I kill you, then the boys would never come with me willingly back to the demon world, and then I'd have to chase them all around the world, or kill them and drag them back. But then their father wouldn't be happy, and blah blah blah. Too much work.
Yeah. Diana seemed very business-oriented, as if the boys were cargo moving men. It irked me, but she then smiled.
I'm giving you one chance to denounce your love for the demon in your bed, and let me take him and the other boys back to the demon world.
I said no. And why, may I ask, why'd I do that?
There are so many reasons why, actually. There's the reason that he's a demon and you're a human, so you two can never truly have a happily ever after. Then there's the reason that demons truly do not know how to love, despite what he may proclaim. The list goes on and on. The point is, if you give me the boys, I will promise you eternal happiness.
Eternal happiness?
That's right. I have the power to give you anything you desire. Power, men, women, money, fame. Name it, and it's yours. A demon never goes back on their word, and I have the power to obtain anything you wish. Our deal is our contract.
I could only stare in shock. This was a dream. It had to be. However, Diana smiled an almost genuine smile at me, shaking me to the reality of the situation. She could never smile like that.
Don't you wish to be free of your destiny? Your father constantly berating you to become the next CEO of your grandfather's company.
How did you... She knows, blah 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 blah.
Just because I play with hearts and sex doesn't mean I don't know my way around the human mind. You happen to be an open book of information. But I digress. I can give you your freedom with ease. It'll be like you were always meant to have it. All I ask is that you hand over the boys. What do you say?
Nope. She must have been crazier than I thought, I glared. Absolutely not. Diana sighed and stood up onto the railing. What I wasn't expecting was for her to leave her lifting me into the air. I tried to scream, but my voice suddenly became blocked in silence. She's gonna steal your energy.
Well, if I can't return home with the boys, I might as well return home with the power to fight back. May you never regret your choice, human. If you do, I'll happily come and take it away.
And, hold that thought, because, yeah. Diana turned and walked away into the night, fading into the darkness like a shadow. I watched her fade away before looking back to the man in my bed. Did I make the right choice? My heart gave a gentle thump, giving me my answer. I did, and I will never regret it for as long as I live. Alright. I walked back inside, gently crawled back into bed with him, embraced with the safest arms I knew. I snuggled close to the warmth before closing my eyes. I was happy. The rest of the story can almost be passed over. With Diana gone, my life returned to normal, with school and my friends not remembering what had happened. It was as if magic never even appeared in my world. One thing was for certain, however, Erik loved me and I loved him just as much. We had promised our lives to each other and nothing was going to take that away from us, not even time itself. Our love was so powerful it practically overwhelmed me with the joy every time I found him holding me close every morning. To think, a demon in love with a human like me. It was unthinkable, unbelievable, it was practically impossible. But it was true. The other boys decided to leave on their own accord. They knew that my future would only need Erik at my side, so they each decided to start their own lives in the human world. Erik understood perfectly and vowed to serve me well, wishing his brothers the best. Serve! Serve! Besides, Erik had something new to care for now. Something new to care for? I don't know, this seems a little clingy. His brothers didn't need to worry about him now that he was caring for me. Too subservient. Ooh! Oh well, we know what the ending is for the most part. They made me promise, however, that I would love Erik for as long as we lived. That promise was instantly given. But what of my future? Well, it was kind of made for me. Before I graduated, James decided to step into the light of the Anderson Toys Company, and with the help of the demon powers and leadership charisma, he managed to influence not only the entire board, but my father, as well as letting him run the CEO. I was beyond shocked. James managed to do all that was beyond me, but when the vote was called, James had taken over the company I was destined to have. He vowed to keep the wishes of the late CEO and help the company become an even grander company. For a demon, it was simply to make a company grand. My grandfather would have been proud to see James help it shine. But the CEO position failed. My father had no choice but to let me decide my future, which made me happy beyond compare. No longer would I have the future scaring me into a corner. I could choose my life on my own. That being said, I was still scared of where the future was going to take me. What did I want to do? Did I want to help James build a company? Did I want to venture off on my own? Erik reassured me if he would support me and help me through whatever I decided to do. I was grateful, and I would never forget that promise. I was happy, and nothing could shake me down from that happiness. One evening, a good couple of years after the boys and I had met, I had a moment to myself, so I wandered my house and took in all what had happened, as if it was a dream. The demons, the devils, the magic. It was all surreal to believe. It almost frightened me to think that it could have been all a dream. But the warm feeling in my heart reminded me that it was all real. The demons, the magic, the love I had. All real. I smiled as I held my hands to my chest, relishing the feelings dancing within my soul. I let out a happy sigh before looking and seeing where I had wandered to. I was standing at the entrance to the backyard, and the door was slightly ajar. I peeked out to see Erik standing on the gazebo, looking up at the moon and the sky. I slowly opened the door and exited the house, walking towards the man who held my heart. Hearing the grass beneath my feet, Erik turned his head and smiled at me.
Good evening, princess.
I smiled and blushed a little bit, moving to stand at Erik's side. What are you doing out here?
I'm merely making friends with the moon, my love.
I blushed deeper. Hearing him call me my love made my heart skip a beat. Erik chuckled, but most likely being able to see the blush through the darkness of the night.
I wanted to see the night sky. The yard is one of the more perfect places to stargaze. Don't you agree?
Yeah. I found myself staring up at the sky as well. The stars all glimmered in the dark blue, almost pitch-black sky. They all seemed to cast an entrancing spell on my eyes, not letting me look away. Not that I cared anyway. Erik gently wrapped an arm around my waist, pulling me close to him without breaking my stare at the sky.
I don't deserve you, you know.
I raised an eyebrow and looked at Erik, confused. What did he mean? Erik simply stared at the sky, holding me gently to him.
You're much too wonderful to be loving a demon such as myself. As cliché as it may be, the beauty fell in love with a beast. A beast with an insatiable hunger for lust.
But you're not a beast, Erik. Erik looked down at me in slight surprise. I turned my head to him and gently held his cheek in my hand, feeling him nuzzle gently into it and cradle it with his own hand. You're not a beast, nor will you ever be. You're Erik, and you're the man I want to love for the rest of my life, demon or not. I love you. Erik stared, looking lost at what to say at my words. It was all true, though. He had faults, sure, but who didn't? I enjoyed his company and adore every part of his personality. The mask he wears will slowly fade over time. Or maybe not. After all, his mask is part of who I fell in love with. Erik gently moved his head and kissed my palm. Closing his eyes and absorbing what I had said, he gently opened his eyes partially, staring past my hand.
Sometimes I forget that you're human. You entrance me better than any demon could. You're truly unbelievable. Are you real, or am I dreaming?
Yes, Erik, I'm real. I'm right here. Erik finally looked to me, a look of desperate need in his eyes. You're not dreaming. I gently guided Erik's face down with my hand and kissed him softly, reminding him of my touch and reaffirming my words. He stared at me as if his greatest wish had come true. I fought back a giggle at the sight. Erik gently pulled me to him, facing me to hug me to his chest. I nuzzled into Erik's chest, hearing his gentle heartbeat and memorizing its tempo.
You'll regret it. I promise you, you'll regret loving someone like me.
You underestimate me. Erik chuckled softly, the sound of his laughter sending happy waves down my spine. Erik smiled down at me and gently kissed the top of my head. My focus, however, traveled down to my hand, which he had been gently held in... My focus, however, traveled down to my hand, which had become gently held by Erik's, his thumb grazing over my ring finger, where I could feel soft veins of energy tingle on my skin. I watched as around my ring finger a small vine wrapped itself around and tied itself into a lovely ring. The ring held a beautiful purple flower with a red gem in the middle, glistening in the moonlight. I gasped before looking up to Erik, who slightly smirked down at me.
See? I'm taking advantage of you already.
Erik gently moved his hand and cradled my cheek, replacing the smirk on his face with a tender smile that made my heart skip.
I don't know what I did to deserve you, but I swear to love you till the end of days and beyond. You make me feel so complete. I can no longer imagine what I would do in life without you. Let me stay with you. I love you so much.
I felt my heart going a million miles an hour. Was this truly happening? Yes, it was. I felt it. I knew it. Out of pure happiness, I wrapped my arms around Erik and kissed him deeply. Erik stared before holding me to him and kissing deeply back, pouring all of his love to me into the kiss. I did the same for him, not wanting to wake up if this was indeed a dream. I felt light as a feather, not wanting to ever let go of this man in my arms. There were no words that could describe the emotions within me. I felt joy, happiness, ecstatic, high all at once. Here I was, kissing the man I would be with forever, under the beautiful moonlight of the night. I had gained the heart of a demon. No, the man I loved. I vowed to cherish him and love him for the remainder of my days and beyond. Could a demon love a human forever? I knew Erik would. And that was my happily ever after. And Erik's kiss. Aww. And that concludes Erik's rap. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I apologize for all the interruptions that have been going on recently. I'm trying to keep those to a minimum when I get back to this series. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye!